Morning everyone. Well, I thought that during Corona times, when we're all kind of stuck at home, and I'm really lucky to be stuck here, I give you a bit of a day in the life. So we're going to start off with feeding, and I think every day I'm going to show you my fabulous outfit because it's I'm going to do a workout straight after this. I'm trying to set the phone up so you can see the weirdness of what I wear. Oh, this isn't going to work. I'm too short. Oh, that might work. Good job, puppies. Okay, so we're wearing active wear. I don't usually wear this pair because, I don't know, they're a bit white, but stop it, Vizsla. Wiggly Vizsla. And then, because short socks, you know, like gym socks, end up in your shoes when you're running around feeding up, I'm going to put my long socks, well, semi-long socks and shoes on. So that's pretty goddamn stunning. Okay, oh my God. And I'm also literally wearing 3 dogs, especially a wheelie Vizsla that keeps trying to stick his nose in my crotch. Anyway, I've actually just watered plants. Just saying, plants are not my strong point. Killing them is, keeping them alive not so much, but I'm learning. Okay, let's feed some ponies. Feed room. Donna. Feed room with chandelier. Nothing like an eBay chandelier. Okay, here we go. Oh yeah. Feeds are stacked in pairs, so we pre-make the feeds. This is Zazie in the black and Lewis in the red, and so they're paddocked next to each other, so we stack the feeds red, black, red, black, red, black, so that they're really easy to get out the next morning. Top tip, Wednesday. Yeah, it's Wednesday. Wise words, Wednesday. Do not eat the Equine. No. Just doing this, the oil that lives in the bucket so it doesn't drip everywhere. Another top tip for Wednesday. So each horse has its own coloured bucket, and I will put them together in the pairs that they are in their paddocks. So they're not in the paddocks in together, but the paddocks are in pairs. So whoever's next to each other gets stacked together. I put some of their supplements in their feeds, which I've mixed in, and I always feed them in the buckets themselves because if there's any of the supplement left in the bucket, I don't want to tip the feed out and leave it on the side of the bucket, even scraping it out with my hand. So prefer that they actually eat directly out of their coloured bucket, and then I know that I've got all of their supplements. Just making sure that, because I've stacked the buckets, that none of the supplements have stuck to the bottoms and aren't getting into the horses' feeds. So first off are these 2 paddocks which Vendi and Hughie are going to go into. They don't have shelters in them, so I don't keep them in here overnight in case it pours with rain, and also because these paddocks get quite wet in winter, so we try to save them for the summer months or just put them in part-time. And then during the night or actually in summer during the day, they go in the two home paddocks, we call them, which are the paddocks below the house. And they have shelters in them, although they're sort of smaller shelters, and those paddocks tend to not grow as good a base of grass, so they tend to chew up a little bit. Yeah, so I've just got to go and move those two. So the other thing I'm doing is using this Equine system, which is a microcurrent machine, and if you Google it, it'll be able to tell you exactly what it does. But so we put a bit of gel on these gel pads, turn it on, and we've got it on. Ugh. And then you get gel everywhere. Anyway, I'm gonna go and put this on because otherwise it just goes absolutely everywhere. Okay, so Zazie has her arc on. I'll show you, she's getting it this morning. I popped that on with a boot, a boot over the top so she doesn't knock the machine off. And I'm going to set a timer on my phone for 3 hours. Yep, and then I'll swap it to another horse. So now I'm going to catch this one, Vendi, and this one, Hughie, and go and take them to their paddocks where I've put their feed. Do the old two horse at one time trick. These two get handled a lot together, so I'm kind of used to their dynamics. But I put Hughie's halter on in the paddock so that if I don't get the halter on, I haven't got the gate open and he can't run away. And then we get Vendi likes to eat Hughie. Right, now guys, the camera will be the first thing, the video will be the first thing that goes, but if you two could be well behaved. Got a pair of polo ponies, aren't you? Yes. So this is Vendi. You can tell him, I'm going to have a thing, like maybe I should do guess who the horses are. So Vendi, you can always tell because his forelock sticks out of his hood. So he's like, I think he's the easy one to tell because he's got a whole lot of hair going on. Hughie, kind of harder to tell because he's just a little black ninja, but he does have white socks, little white ermine marks on them, little black ermine marks on his white socks, and he's always pointy. He's pricking his ears. He's a little ninja. Right, come on, kids. Okay, I'm gonna have to put the phone down somewhere because this will be interesting. Woo, come here. So just on a side note, for anyone that's like, ooh, is it safe to handle two horses at once? I wouldn't recommend it unless you're really experienced. I also pick your days to do it. So for example, if it's a really windy day or I think they're going to be a bit silly or they're fresh in from holidays or something, handle one horse at a time. Also, if I think they're going to be silly, I put gloves on so they don't rip my hands apart and give me rope burn. But I also have to know who I can lead with who. So for example, I know that Vendi will try to bite Hughie, and also if I'm leading Lewis with anyone, Lewis will try to eat anyone. So, you know, I always have to know their patterns of behaviour first. So I kind of figure that, you know, polo ponies get led together in huge packs, and that's because that's what they're used to. So if they're used to it and you're experienced with it, and you know how to open and close gates, and you know the risks that are involved and you can anticipate those, then you know, I think it's a possibility. But yeah, just pick your moments. Very happy child. Good girl, Zazzy Poo. Okay. Check his bucket doesn't have anything in it. Good. Number one. Hello. Oh, what is it? Always shut the gate behind you, folks. Excuse me. Come on. Hungriest horse in the universe. Excuse me, Hi-Ho Silver. Obey the finger. I know. Okay. Yeah. So every morning I also check their rugs. So I'm looking under here, they've got cotton sets on, and I'm going to just pull them forward so that they're not cutting into their chests at all. Just check all the leg straps. I'm also going to check that, because he's got bell boots on, that his shoes are still on. Come here. Can I have? Thanks. Make sure everything looks normal, and also feel the back of his pasterns. Make sure that he doesn't have any rubs. Doesn't have any back shoes on at the moment because he's on a bit of a break. But just want to check everywhere, particularly if they're not being worked every day. I'm bringing them in once a week at least, giving them a shampoo and changing their cotton rugs. Because if they're not being groomed every day, I think it's really important that we just give them a really solid shampoo. Make sure that you get all of that loose dirt, hair and stuff out. And make sure that we're not missing anything, because I think you can just sort of glance over the gate, but I think it's really important to run your hand down their leg, pick up their feet, if they're not being ridden and checked every single day. I also check how much hay. So on Beau, for example, is meant to have as much hay as he'll eat. So we really just go by what he's eaten the night before. So if he's cleaned everything up the night before, then we just give him more again, because being a thoroughbred and being a bit older, he doesn't tend to keep his weight on as well. But if he's not eating as much of his hay and cleaning it up, there's no point putting more in, because you just waste it. Hiya. Oh, hungry hippo. Now I know a lot of you are saying, why does this horse have hind show jumping boots on its front legs? But he actually brushes a bit in the paddock and tends to knock himself, and we found that his legs were getting a little bit too sweaty with normal paddock boots on. So I had a pair of these, and my mum made them. That's what she does, the 10-minute box. And so these are felt ones, and so they breathe heaps. And we actually found that this is fantastic. So if this guy's going to brush in the paddock, it lets his legs air. They're not on tight, and they tend to stay in place and fit really well. So just doing a foot and shoe check. Boy, pasterns are kept on the other side. Shoe on. Shoe on. Good boy. Awesome. Pick up the bucket. Good boy, matey moo. Do a rug check. Hiya, good boy. And it's really wind-free day today. Pull your rugs forward. Here you go, good boy. It's a beautiful still day today, so they're all pretty calm. And I'm trying to open the gate the wrong way and squeeze through it. So it means I feel, you know, if they're running around and being idiots, sometimes it's just not worth going in there and trying to pick up their legs and feet because they're going to jump on your face. So those occasions, I look at their feet, because most of the time if they're running around and jumping around, you can see if they haven't got shoes on, and you can also see if they have any cuts and things on their legs. So this guy gets, I'm actually going to throw this, hopefully. And I will be picking up that paddock today. So like most places, when coronavirus hits, sometimes don't have as much help as normal. So my day also has been including picking up a lot of poo. So just want to say, when you throw hay in the paddock, usually I don't throw it near poo, but I'm going to go back there after finish feeding and go and start picking up paddocks. So that's the one thing that the corona cannot stop is horse poo. I change where I put it depending on the season. He's now found his hay. So at the moment the ground is dry, so I'm putting the hay out on the grass. But when we get to the wetter season, we tend to put it on in the sand yards, and that way the horses are standing on the sandy surface, which doesn't get muddy, and they're not going to just be standing in mud and making mud holes. And also, if they tend to not eat that hay that well, or they spread it around, we put them in hay bags, because then we don't waste any of the hay. Oh, the hungriest horse in the world. This is Ferg. And Lawsy, who works and grooms the horses, she rides the Ferg, and Ferg is the hungriest horse ever, aren't you, Ferg? Do a Ferg check. So Ferg has big feet. Ferg, hey Ferg. Ferg also can only do one thing at a time. No, I've done that one. Lift up this one. Oh my God. She doesn't have shoes on her back feet, so that's okay. Ferg, do I need to come around this side to pick up clearly? She doesn't do the old pick up the foot from the opposite side. Check rugs. Hi Ferg. Quick rug check. Pull these forward, make sure we're all okay. Yep. Basically, if Ferg isn't eating, you know she's gonna die. So she's pretty straightforward. At least this is Tora, or Torzy. She was my 4-star or new 5-star horse, called Tora Bora, and she's 22, and she's had a baby, and my mum has her. So hi Torzy. She's very polite, aren't she? Come on, look at those ears, they're massive. Call her the Easter Bunny. Hi, there you go, sweetheart. Oh, so polite. Thanks, lady. Where are your rugs? Now, check your, pull it forward. Here you go. Check your feet. Torzy, can I have this one? Thank you. And can I have this one? Freaking amazing legs for a 22-year-old that's done 5-star. Like, that's just dirt, but oh, you know, she's pretty amazing. Come on, sweetheart. Thank you. Can I have this one? This one. Thank you. Oh, what a good girl. Check. Belly straps. Everything normal. I also look at their eyes. That's really important, actually. Looking at their eyes. If there's any difference in the eyes, how closed or open the eyes are. So you want them both to be open the same amount, normally the same amount. Look at the colour in their eyes. You notice she's actually got some blue in her eye. Now that is perfectly normal because we've had her for a long time. We've known her for a long time. And so it's really important to know what is normal. So if some horses don't finish their feed and they leave little bits at the end, if that's normal, that's cool. If there's a horse that hoovers its feed and it leaves something in there, you might think that's a little bit strange. And maybe go and check their vital signs. Yeah. But Ferg, you can't possibly finished already. Have you finished already? Oh my God. Ferg, you licked the bowl clean. I hadn't even finished Torsy's feed up and you've already finished the breakfast. So feed up is done and now we're going to go and wash out all the buckets. And I've got to do some form of workout and I've also got to pick up poo. So that'll be my next couple of jobs and the horses can digest their feed whilst we do that. Note to everyone, don't forget to scrub the bottom of your buckets when you're stacking them, because if you only clean the insides, then when you stack them in piles, you put all the dirt from the bottom into the inside of the next bucket. You guys are so helpful. Oh my God. Another thing to be mindful of is if you are feeding a horse something that can swab, you have to make sure that the other horses don't eat out of their bucket. So hence why all of our horses have separate buckets. The other thing is that if you use the same mixing spoon or the same scrubbing brush, you have to make sure that you use a separate one for that particular horse's bucket, or make sure you clean it out with disinfectant or soapy, well, not so much disinfectant, but maybe soapy water, so that you can stop the transfer of a prohibited substance between all of the horses. Just saying, I have picked up every single paddock here. This is the second load of and hay that I've picked up, and I'm going to go into vegetable garden fertiliser. That's my new job.